What's up, everyone? Welcome into a Friday edition of Philly Voice Betting. I'm Devan Kaney with Eitan Shander and Harry Mays. This episode is, of course, brought to you by Rita's. Eitan, you're rocking the background there for Candy.
I am,
yeah.
Everybody! Go candy crazy with Rita's new Candy Kapow Ice. And new app users get a free ice when they download and use offer code SWEET. Stop by your local Rita's today and try it before it's gone. Offer expires September 4th.
Be cool, eat a Rita's. I figured, you can't go wrong with just positive reinforcement. We have it on the screen. We have it behind me. So subliminally, if I can get that word out, it should seep into people's brains that, you know what? It's Friday. It's one of the last Fridays of the summer. Now would be the time to hit up Rita's for a Candy Kapow.
Well, I hear that Candy Kapow ice is big in Williamsport at the Little League World Series, and so is Eitan. So it makes perfect sense.
Absolutely right. Correct.
Yeah. I mean, bright pink background really screams subliminal messaging. All right, guys, let's jump into this weekend because we've got a big weekend coming up. Bryce Harper is back for the Phillies. I want to talk about that, but a little bit later on because I want to start with week 0 of college football. I'm so freaking excited that football is officially back tomorrow. Harry, I know you're excited.
Yeah.
So let's start with you and your best bet for week 0.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm getting up to watch a game in Ireland tomorrow.
Yep.
I think it goes off at noon our time on Fox, I believe. And I'll be dialed in on that. It's Northwestern against Nebraska, the Big Ten going to Ireland in Dublin. And I'm grabbing the points here, the 12 points with Northwestern. I think it was 12.5. It came back down to 12 just recently on DraftKings. I'm favoring Pat Fitzgerald in a bounce back year from a miserable 3-9 last year. Nebraska was also 3-9 as well. And I think this is a inflated number on get this old school Nebraska, which hasn't been here in decades. Okay. I still think this is kind of a fraudulent line. Northwestern is returning 14 starters from that season last year, including their quarterback, Ryan Holinsky, who was a transfer from South Carolina a few years ago. Nebraska's got a new quarterback. He's transferred in from Texas, Casey Thompson. They also have a new offensive coordinator in Mark Whipple, leaving Pittsburgh to come out to Nebraska. I think this is a desperate year for Scott Frost because he knows he's on the ultimate hot seat. Okay, they're still trying to reinvent Tom Osborne in Lincoln, and it ain't happening. Okay, I'm taking Northwestern plus the 12. They're 5-2 ATS in games in August. They're also 5-1 against the number against Nebraska away from home, and they got absolutely blasted by the Cornhuskers last year. 56-7 in Lincoln. So this is a major, they've been dreaming about this game for months to get revenge on the Cornhuskers.
Yes, you're going with the underdog there.
Yes, I am. I love underdogs.
I do too, and that's why I'm also taking Northwestern, but money line plus money. I agree with you. I think Nebraska with the new quarterback, new coach, there's just no telling what's going to happen. Northwestern wants revenge. I'm really excited for that game happening in Ireland. Eitan, what are your thoughts?
Lined open at 10. I jumped on Nebraska at 10. It's since moved to 2.5. So feel good about that. And look, the reality is I'm with you to an extent. And there's going to be a theme, I think, with another team here where you go from bad and maybe rock bottom. You're going to be better. I think there is a sense of carryover with Northwestern. But don't undersell, Harry, what Nebraska did in the transfer portal. They arguably had the best transfer portal offseason at any team, especially in conference. And I think, when you bring in new people to a system, it's one thing. But when you bring in successful people, an offensive coordinator who had Kenny Pickett throwing the rock left and right, a quarterback who's coming from a program like Texas, and look, across the board. So at 10, this was a reasonable ask for Nebraska. I even have it on my notes. I wouldn't touch it 13 or higher. I'm with you. I mean, honestly, I'm in at 10. So if somebody likes Nebraska right now at 12, you've lost 2 points of value, and it's not worth that risk, as both you and Devin laid out with Northwestern. So I'm on Nebraska minus 10. But the big thing was just what they did in the transfer portal. I mean, they destroyed the transfer portal this offseason.
And I'm okay with the transfer portal and all that influx of talent in weeks maybe 3, 4, 5, and beyond. It takes a while to assimilate that stuff. And I just think right out of the gate in week 1, I'm going to take the points. That's all.
I agree.
Well, 12 is different than 10.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Anything else from week 0 that we want to cover?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised Harry doesn't have a little more here. There's a lot that's jumping out.
I know.
How about Illinois?
Harry, the mic, let him go. This is like I mean, are you going to be able to sleep tonight? I know you.
Right. What's going on here?
Well, still got golf. So week 0 is week 0. I dive in more on Labor Day weekend when my Temple Owls go at it in Durham, North Carolina. But Aton already gave out, I think, UConn plus 28 a couple of weeks ago, right?
26.5 at some spots, 27. I mean, if
28 now in some spots too.
Well,
it depends.
There's another one that has a massive. Hold on. Continue on. I'll find it.
No, I was going to say, just depending on where you shop, right? The line opens at 28. A lot of people are just creatures of habit. So finding UConn at the best number is still, it's got to be 28, right?
Right.
But here's the thing. It's off. And I would take UConn down, knowing I'm losing 2 points of value. I take UConn anywhere down to 26. They're just better. They're better. I was talking about Illinois here. And now you got me talking about UConn. We'll do UConn really quick. UConn 28 down to 26 is fine here. Jim Mora's coming over. They returned 3 key starters on offense, Harry, and their defense was top 80 last year, which is good enough to cover 4 freaking touchdowns in this game.
Plus, Utah State goes to Alabama next week. You think they're thinking about UConn?
Yeah.
Very good point.
By the way, real quick, on Illinois, I saw 10.5. If you're lucky in that range, Wyoming might be going through the biggest rebuild in college football. They lost everybody outside of maybe Hawaii. They lost everybody, and their leading rusher, top 3 wideouts, 4 linemen on the offense. They only returned 4 guys on defense. Illinois, returns talent. Isaiah Williams and Chase Brown. So take Illinois, and then Hawaii would be the last one. Don't take Hawaii. Take Vanderbilt with the points. Yeah, Vandy gets their ass kicked because they play in the SEC.
Right.
But if they played elsewhere, they've got 4-star talent that they bring in. They return a bunch. Hawaii, new coach, new quarterback, new running back, new receivers, new offensive linemen, new defensive linemen. They have new people in every single position. I'm sorry, but the travel is not going to mitigate that. So Vanderbilt, I'll lay the points.
Love it.
All right. I like that. The one I was talking about is not week 0, but Ball State, Tennessee. It's 33 is the spread. So that's
was that week 1?
Very large. Yes, that is September 1st. That game is happening. Okay, now should we dive into the Phillies? Because Bryce Harper is back. I don't know if I feel confident enough to put any money on any numbers from him tonight. I don't even know what capacity we're going to see him in. Obviously saw him notch several homers when he was playing for the Iron Pigs earlier this week.
I was really liking Bryce in Lehigh Valley. I was kind of getting used to that, a little Iron Pig action.
Yeah, I don't know. So what do you guys think? Do you think his Iron Pig action will translate to Citizens Bank Park tonight?
Well, it is the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they are basically a AAA team, so it probably will.
Very true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be lucrative if you bought season tickets to Lehigh and then just sold them back on the secondary market every time you had somebody come through for a rehab?
That's something Pat Egan would do.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
I don't know. Like, you're not going to get a Bryce Harper playing in Lehigh Valley every other week,
Right. Yeah.
But if you get JT, Bryce, if you get Nola, if you get Wheeler coming back to make a start, right? Like, I get what you're saying, Devin, where it's not going to be Harper every week. But if you're playing the long game of a season and you get 7 starters throughout the season that are coming through on maybe a 2 or 3 game stint, I don't know. You may be out. You may be net loss. I don't know. I don't know at that point.
I think maybe a better investment right now would be to get Reading Phillies tickets, because you can go up there and see those 2 starting pitchers that the Phillies moved up that they're really high on.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Well, you can't make any money in the secondary market with that. You wouldn't know either one of those guys if they fell on you, Maze.
Oh, but the Phillies, what's the number tonight against Pittsburgh? I haven't even looked.
Well, look,
I'm looking at it now. Sorry. Go ahead.
2 I saw on the run line, depending on where you are. I mean, you're going to be north of 275 range for the Phillies laying it. I can find you the best number on it in a second. But I think, honestly, the one thing I would look at attacking really throughout in this series would be the first 5, especially tonight, where you have an opportunity. Like Pittsburgh on the road, they scored just under 2 runs per game in the first 5. We know the Phillies are heating at home. So Phillies technically could take all of this on their own. But if you were to play over 4.5 on an alternate first 5, I get you Phillies first team to score -130 on DK.
I like that.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about any specific player props we want to dive into when it comes to the Phillies. Doesn't have to be Bryce Harper.
Yeah, without Harper, that's one thing I was thinking about without Bryce is which guy or guys stand kind of like the Venn diagram, right? Where on the left, it's who's going to benefit from Harper coming back, which is a lot of people in this lineup. And then who is also just playing well to where if Harper is pinch hitting tonight or just in some capacity not in the lineup, it's not going to impact the bet so much. It's not that we're asking this to be built into a line that may not be there. Is it Reese? Like, can we target somebody like Reese total bases over 1.5 total bases, something along those lines?
Where are you getting that?
I like that. I also like Reese home runs over basically if he just gets 1 home run plus 194.
Yeah.
Matt put up in the chat, Phillies to score first and win at +114.
I like that. I mean,
that's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, look, at this point, I don't think there's a bad play with that. Score first and win. Reese Hoskins over 1.5 total bases shop, but you're probably going to get around like a -125, 130. Could you do something with Segura? Over 1.5 total bases for Segura is +125. That's the thing.
Yeah.
+125 over 1.5 total bases. You'd have to look at walk situation. You have to look at where he is in the lineup.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's essentially now walks don't count towards this.
Right.
A double knocks this through. Honestly, talking through this here, getting +125 for Segura expected. I mean, everybody else, you're going to be laying 120, 125. Casti is 115. Real Muto, 120. Plus money for Segura.
Really fortunate with this schedule, man. This month of August, they are playing like, 4A teams. A lot of the time that they've missed Bryce Harper. It's really kind of a fortunate.
Yeah, pretty much anyone who's not the Mets.
Right.
They're fortunate to play. All right, guys, before we run out of time, enough Phillies talk, any NFL futures, because final week of preseason games. I'm not a big fan of betting on preseason games, but what's been happening, the reports coming out of practices, maybe not just with the Eagles, but with any team, is affecting how you're placing your bets for week 1.
I've decided to go under 11.5 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just have a sneaky feeling that this might be the year where Father Time catches up with Tom Brady. And it has nothing to do with him taking 11 days off, to do whatever it is he did. I just think, and their backups, there's Gabbert and Trask. I mean, if they have to go any length of time, 4, 5, 6 games without Brady, I think this is an under. They play the Rams, the Ravens, Kansas City, and Green Bay, but they're all at home. So that's a real big break. But it's not like those teams are going to an environment, that's not a good environment to play in. It's not like they're going to Buffalo in December. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of mitigate that home field advantage. I think it's kind of a nice thing that Green Bay maybe can come down there, in the middle of November or December. So I'm going to go under 11.5 with Tampa Bay.
I actually like that because now they're also down in offensive linemen.
Right.
And I'm getting weird vibes from Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Maybe time will finally catch up to him. I would be lying if I said I wouldn't love to see that. Eitan, what are your thoughts?
No, I was going to say, Brady, they have 5 primetime games, and in the regular season, he's awful against the spread when
You've
it comes
been over
to
this.
these
This is one of your angles, man.
I'm telling you.
The primetime games in Brady, yes.
It just has an effect. So look, let's just say Harry's right, and this is the year that age and wear start to have a noticeable impact on Tom Brady's game. The first thing you would look at would be those primetime games where he's already been struggling. And look, wins, losses, I get it's a little bit more narrow than covering a spread, but a lot of this has just been allowing teams back into games and then ultimately being Tom Brady to shut the door. You may not be able to be Tom Brady this year to shut the door.
Right.
So that's the one thing that I think backs where you're at, Harry, where that's 5 games that are going to be extra tough, even if they are at home. The other thing I would say is if you like what Mays just sold, and I think there's definitely, as Devan, you said, there's some reasons to be buying into that. You have to start looking at this division. You can get the Saints right now north of 3-1 to win the division, and I think it's worth a quarter of a unit on the Atlanta Falcons. Marcus Mariota is better against the spread over the last 2 years, smaller sample size, but still, than Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is cooked. This offense is now getting a quarterback that can move a little bit and will not have to throw 4,500 yards. So Carolina's in disarray. New Orleans has a brand new coach that's not a Hall of Famer, and the Bucs are taking a step back. So I would pound the Saints right now at plus 320 to win this, and I'd put a quarter of a unit at plus 20 at 25-1 for the Falcons to just survive when all the dust is cleared.
I wouldn't count. I mean, I agree with the Saints take. I wouldn't count the Panthers totally out, so we don't know what's going to happen with Baker Mayfield. He could come out and be stellar, but we'll see. We'll see.
McCaffrey's got to stay upright for 17 games.
That's true.
That's
right.
for sure.
That is very true.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Pleasure as always. Exciting weekend. College football is officially back. Go Northwestern, at least from Harry and I. And until next week.
Yeah, that's right.